You are listening to The Objective Jerk, where objectiveness is the objective, and I am said jerk.
What's going on, everybody? This is the Objective Jerk, and I'm said jerk, and I do it every damn time I start cleaning up my desk. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's well. Things are crazy, I guess. You got the Secret Service talking about sloped roofs and all kinds of memes, which are pretty hilarious. I'm not. I'm not trying to be like on current events and trying to make videos on everything that's going on. That's not my thing. I don't try and like jump on any kind of breaking news to get out before anybody else or anything like that. Although I guess in my position that would maybe be a smart move because of where I live, because I'm in the Philippines, so time difference. So if something happens in the middle of the night, everybody's sleeping, it's daytime for me, and I make a video, I can be ahead of people. But that's just not what I'm trying to do. This is just kind of for my sanity, give me something to do. This may sound very sad, but I don't have anybody to talk to really about this kind of stuff. Because like right now I can't call like any friends back in the States, and there's no one here that I can really talk to about it. I talk to my oldest son, and sometimes, but I think he's just not really into it. Plus, it's like, he's young. Let him enjoy his life, not stress him out about stupid politics and everything. And so I just don't have anybody to really kind of brainstorm and talk about this stuff. So that's, the reason why I do this podcast. Just for me to, my microphone therapy. Anyway, so came across a story that's just crazy. And it just further pushes the narrative of the conspiracy to murder our former and future president. One thing though I wanted to talk about is before I get into what I just said is technology, right? Technology, I'm not a big tech person. Like, I got a buddy back in the States, obviously. He's older than I am. I'm not 100% sure how many years. No more than 5. But I think it's less than that. I think it's like 3 or something like that. I need to find that out. I don't know. Anyway. But he's always been really into. I remember when broadband internet first came out, and he was, excited about that, and he helped me hook up a computer in my little studio apartment, and I had internet, and he's just like, dude, man, you got the world at your fingertips, and he was all excited, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. And, I was kind of excited, and yes, there are some great things about the technology that we have today, but for a lot of it, I just don't like it. Like, I'm going to talk about what makes one good aspect of it, and it has to do with this assassination. But, I just never, I don't know. I remember when I was younger and I used to imagine things in the future and what you can do, and we can do those things now, but now it's like I just don't really, I don't know. Sometimes I wish my phone would just die and my computer would break, and you know what I mean? And I could just work on my garden in the back and just, you know what I mean? Just get off this crap and stay off social media and everything. But the thing I think that's really great about the time we live in, and Joe Rogan talks about how this is the greatest time. A lot of people are like, man, I miss the days of the 80s. And he's like, no, now's the greatest time. And that conversation happens a lot on his show. And I agree with both. Because, yes, life was simpler. But the thing was, life was simple then because ignorance is bliss. Nobody knew anything back then. Now we know everything. Back in the day, you didn't know anything until it came across your news desk or you got a newspaper. Your parent, you know what I mean? You knew days later or whatever. I mean, assassination attempt would be pretty big news any which way whatever. But now you get information immediately. Everybody's on board. Everybody's, so it got me thinking, like, what if JFK assassination happened today and it went down exactly as it did? Dude, there would be no who was the second, the grassy note. All these questions would not be questions. Dude, they would know. They would have answers. There's so many people, so many phones, so many whatever. They would not be able to cover it up like they did back then. You know what I mean? So that's kind of a great thing about all this. There are people out there that find some stuff or whatever and they share it and it gets out there. And some stuff is what do you call it? Censored, I guess. Like I swear some of my stuff that's really more not, the memes I've posted about what's going on right now, my friends seem to come across, but my other stuff, the more serious, doesn't. You know what I mean? Am I, is it actually happening? Probably not. Who knows? I don't know. But it does make you think, right? But yeah, it's like, we wouldn't know like anything. Think about all the information that we know a week later, less than a week, when if this was 1963, all we would know is this guy shot at Donald Trump and he was killed. That's it. We don't know anything. We wouldn't know about this dude's tie to BlackRock. Is it like a significant whatever? You know what I mean? He was in a commercial. No, but it's still it's a lead. It's a tie. You know what I mean? So he has a connection. Maybe it's not a strong connection, but it's still a connection. It's not to say that some handler involved in all that met him. I talked about my last podcast, It's not inconceivable that happened, but it's not, that doesn't make it necessarily concrete evidence that, they're all together. But it's just the little things, it's those little things. And and then like I said, I'm not trying to make videos every hour, every time there's new information. Like there's information coming back from the shooter's laptop and computer, like they've been completely wiped. There's no histories of nothing. This, it's like, so they totally got rid of everything. Any kind of chats he may have had with somebody or whatever. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, that could go either, some people are trying to say, oh, there's a conspiracy to make Trump look good, so they did this. So it was actually staged. And it's like, dude, that would, I think, did I talk about this last time? But that would make sense if he was losing, but he's been winning, and then it would have had to have been somebody that was like in the crowd and he came up and he shot, but it was like a blank, you know what I mean? And then he gets tackled and then they're like, oh, he got shot, like Ronald Reagan, even, obviously you had, oh man, what was the guy's name that got shot? But that scenario, other than the fact that the one guy got shot in the head, I want to say Rudy, but it's not Rudy. What the hell is his name? But that would be more of a scenario that was like if it was faked from Trump's side. A guy shooting actual rounds from a rifle, like, hey man, I'm a really good shot. I can just clip your ear. There's no way. You're not gonna, okay, yeah, just get my ear. And when you see the whole thing, no, it's not. I'm sorry. I know the TDS and the Trump haters would really love it, but it's just no, it didn't happen that way. They did not fake the shooting to make Trump popular, even though that's exactly what's helping Trump, but he was already winning. So anyway, um but yeah, so technology sucks. I hate it for the most part, but I guess in this time and what's going on, it has become a blessing, in a way. Um so the deep state, right? There is a great video on the deep state from a YouTube channel. I don't remember. I'm going to see if I can look it up because I'm trying to like spread some. Now, I don't know. I don't know. The fact that this guy is on YouTube and does like, you got to kind of take it with a grain of salt. Like he has a lot of interesting facts and stuff like that. But again, it's like I'm very cautious. Man, what is he called? I'm looking in my YouTube. Subscribe. Did I unsubscribe from him? Crap. Maybe I watched something and I was like, dude, this guy's propaganda, and I unsubscribed. But it was a good video. Damn it, what was it called? It was talking about the deep state. Is the deep state real? Just Google that on YouTube. Is the deep state real? It'll probably bring it up. This is blonde hair dude. But yeah, the deep state is real. The military. God, I couldn't say this last time. But it was the other word I forgot. It was something military complex. Jesus. You can see why I my podcast is not successful. Military industrial complex. There we go. Right? Anyway. So the deep state essentially is rich people that own everything. You have individuals who are CEOs or own companies that invest on both sides and are just like the puppeteers. You always see those memes of like the left and right, it's like you got the Republican and you got the Democrat. I'm right. And then you look down, they're puppets from the same person. You know what I mean? And that's, it's a analogy, but it's true. I made a little meme about Homer, the Homer one where he goes in the bushes, comes in and out, and he's labeled as BlackRock, and he's all Democrat. Now things are going to shit. Now they're going to be Republican and then everything good about the Republicans right now, 20 years from now, they're going to be on the wrong side, and the Democrats, if they're still around, it might be a new party, are going to be the new saviors or whatever. It's just like this cycle that just keeps happening back and forth, and these people don't care because as long as they're making money and they're rich and they're in control, right? And it's like, you think like when you watch debates and the politicians and the presidents and all this kind of stuff, and when you see like videos of all the past presidents like just looking so chummy and you know what I mean? You see the Bushes and they're all buddies with Obama and all of them. It's like it makes you kind of like, I mean, there's a difference between being in public and being respectful and this and that, but it just the things that you watch in the videos and the things that you hear, it's like, dude, they're all complicit. They're all on, they're all Democrat or Republican, but they all work for the same person. They work for the deep state. They work and yes, they're like, oh, we're gonna lower taxes, and they have different different ideas and different their platform have different whatever, but in the end there are certain things they cannot do because the individuals who are actually in charge and in power won't let them. You know what I mean? Here, you can do all this liberal stuff, but you're not going to do anything about this, keeping this as it is. Same thing for, hey, you want to be conservative, cool, but you cannot change this. Otherwise, you're going to lose money, you're going to get out of office and be poor, or you're going to be killed. You know what I mean? And the people that fought against that, presidents that were like, dude, this ain't cool. No, I'm going to be president. What happened to them? Look at JFK, the same thing. He's fighting against the CIA, fighting against the BS that was going on. They took him out. Abraham Lincoln, the same thing. Ronald Reagan, they tried. I don't know. It's just like, the thing is, like, people that think like, oh, there's no way. It's like, dude, the CIA has been doing this in other countries for years, decades. They do the exact same thing. They take out an individual who's looking like is going to win an election, but is not going along with they're not dancing to the right tune. They take him out and they put someone else in power. They do it all over the world. Why wouldn't they do it to their own country? But so, and then everybody was saying it, this was, look at how I got a video on my Facebook. It's not I should put it on my podcast one. I need to start doing that. I kind of get lazy, and I have my personal, which was my podcast. And then excuse me, sorry. But then my wife's like, you got to have the personal one. So but they kind of bleed over each other, and because that's where my friends are, and I'm usually on that one, and I only post on my podcast one. I gotta figure it out. Anyway, the good stuff I need to put on there, but I'm kind of getting off track as I always do. So yeah, it's not surprising when you kind of look at all that information, And the thing is like a lot of people are just like, oh my gosh, come on. It's like either they're too stupid to really take it all in and be like, whoa, dude, that doesn't make sense. Or they're so just ignorant that they don't want to, because then they're not going to be happy anymore. You know what I mean? Because ignorance is bliss, man. And that's the whole thing with the internet and the technology and the information, You couldn't question anything, because how do you, people back in the day, the conspiracy theorists, dude, they had to work hard to get their information, to find it, to get it out there. Now you got dipshits like me that just, oh yeah, okay, and then say whatever. It's like, so I mean, and I'm sure conspiracy theorists from back in the day are like glad, or like, hey, this is good, okay, it's almost like we're like auto tune. You know what I mean? Back in the day, people actually had to know how to sing. Now they don't. They just have auto tune. So we're all like the conspiracy theorists auto tune. You know what I mean? But now to get to the whole reason I did this podcast. So technology, right? We have access to so many things, so much information. Wall Street, just, you got obituaries, news, people, getting divorced, court proceedings, just all kinds of stuff. It's out there. You can find it, right? So, I mean, you still got to work for it if you want to get the truth. But this is kind of interesting. So, a company out of Texas, I wrote down a few notes. Whoa. Except my handwriting, I wrote down so fast. Austin, crap. Some money company. I'll just say that. Started shorting on Trump's Truth Social, which shorting is like basically betting against the company. So I don't, I'm not a money person. I don't know. I just know that they shorted Truth Social, which is exactly how they do it. I guess they put money somehow that the company's going to fail, and then they will profit from it. And they did this the day before the assassination attempt. 12 million shares against Truth Social, right? The single largest bet or shorted bet that they have ever placed the day before. And this company is tied to BlackRock and the Bush family, right? Coincidence? Man, there's a whole lot of coincidence. How many coincidences or how many oddities need to occur before people are like, and the other thing too is like, just because it says look up conspiracy. Conspiracy doesn't mean fake. Conspiracy is a bunch of different people coming together to make something happen. You know what I mean? Like it takes a group of people, like-minded people, to make something happen. I mean, that's not the actual term for it, but people think like conspiracy, like, oh, it's like a crazy made-up idea. No, conspiracy comes from just it's. Let me look it up real quick. Just I don't know. Oh, my computer, of course, it's got to be slow. An Apple. I've had it for how many years? And a Mac, and then of course it's gonna turn out slow. Because it's time to buy. You know, when your Mac or your Apple product is turning slow, that means, oh, I guess they want me to buy a new one. A secret plan by a group of people to do something unlawful or harmful. Okay, you know, it's a plot between a group of people. It's not, oh, it's a fake story or it's, you know, whatever. Conspiracies all it's because if this dude, the shooter, was psycho, which he was, but, you know, all completely on his own, went and tried to shoot the president, which this is where the whole conspiracy theory came from, was JFK. You know, a lot of people could see, like, dude, there's no way it was just him. And it's so obvious with this dude. There's no way it was just this guy. He had help. And that's what makes it a conspiracy. Because there was more people involved that are going to get away with it, basically, you know? It's just crazy. But all the stuff I talked about in my previous video, his phone and computer, just no information on there. It's just, and then now this, it's like somebody knew something was going to happen. Oh, it's just a coincidence that they bet a bunch of the day before. You know, it could be, I guess. I mean, yeah, it could be. But that's the problem, is everybody just like, well, it could be a coincidence, because you just don't want to face it. You don't want to face the truth that our government is fucking shit. They don't care about us. They care about the deep state. They care about the people in charge. We are just cattle for them. We pay our taxes and we help them build stuff so we can send things to other countries and they can get more money and then we just sit here and suffer. It's insane. And that's the reason why I like Trump, because he's not, every politician, you know, they're getting rich. They're getting rich from being a politician. Trump is losing money and everything from being a politician. He was already rich. Does he like the fact that people almost, I know there's people that like worship him, you know, but yeah, I mean, I think he's got the ego to where he feeds off of that, and you'd almost have to. You'd have to have an ego to be president, except for, I don't think Carter, I don't think he did. But, you know, Trump is not the nicest, greatest human being, but he's definitely the president that we need right now to fight and to battle against this evil. And yes, it is a fight. It's not just voting. Yes, we need to vote. I wanted to say that, by the way. Just because everything looks like the Dems are just totally going down the toilet and it's like Republicans, oh, they got it. You still got to go out there and vote. You still have to go out and vote. Do not forget. Just because everything's looking good doesn't mean, look what happened to last time. And look what happened to Hillary. I thought she was going to win. Everybody was like, "Oh, Hillary's got it," so whatever. But then, it's just you got to get out there and vote, man. Don't forget. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, comment, whatever. You know the drill, and I'll see you guys next. Hey, do me a favor, and however you're either listening or watching this, please give it a like or subscribe or follow or whatever, and then do me another favor and give me a little comment. Let me know what you think, or just a thumbs up, I guess. Whatever, it all helps. I appreciate it, and have a good one.